For my palette, I like earth colours, I think, predominantly. I like Prussian blue, French ultramarine and Winsor yellow. I've got my little palette here and I tend to use those same colours most of the time. I like magenta as well. I find magenta is a really useful mixing colour. I get wonderful oranges if I use magenta with Winsor yellow. And I like colours that are semi-transparent or transparent. I love layering. I like the feeling of something that's quite luminous. And I think I like watercolour best when you really feel the almost transparent qualities of it. I mean, when I teach, some of the students say, you know, how can I get a really good orange? And they think that I should use cadmium red. And I say, no, don't do that, because you'll get a muddy purple or you'll get a muddy orange. Use magenta, because if you use magenta with that lovely Winsor yellow, you'll get this really bright, vibrant orange. And if you use magenta with, let's say, a Prussian or a French ultramarine blue, again, you'll get a really lovely purple. You won't get a muddy colour. So magenta, for me, is one of the crucial colours in my paint box. I think one of the great things about the sticks, you know, something like this one, I can get fantastic textures. Now, with these pens, I think the joy is being able to write with them, and also use a ruler. But I've also noticed with these pens, you can use them in a flexible way too. So you can sponge out some of the colour and start creating texture as well. I mean, they're an incredible shortcut in a way, particularly if you're going to be using text in your work, and I do use text in my work, or something very precise, where precision is essential. You're going to be able to create it with these pens. So I used one of the pens to write all the lettering, and I also used a ruler with the pen to get these straight lines. Nothing smudged, and it was really easy to draw the lettering. I didn't have to use a paintbrush, and a paintbrush, well, it would have taken me days, if not months. And I'm not sure actually with the paintbrush whether I could have achieved the same precision. I have a feeling I couldn't have done. And then I had the joy of being able to smudge some of the areas when I wanted to create this idea of this object being very, very old, and maybe, you know, got a bit of rain on at some point, or coffee cup stain or whatever. So some of these are with me using a traditional paintbrush and paint. But I think it's important to give it this sort of atmosphere, and then it becomes a work of art rather than just some sort of Xerox copy of the original. Yesterday I was working on this chess set. This was a chess set, and I actually used the sticks for this because they give a lovely texture, and I wanted to capture the texture of wood. And I was able to use two of the sticks, working in a horizontal manner. I mean, it's quite interesting because one of the reasons why I don't take watercolours out onto hamster teeth is that I can't really cope with with all the water and the equipment and heaven knows what else, because what I'm trying to do is capture something quite quickly. I mean, I have no idea what I'm going to come across that inspires me. So if I see a foxglove, I want to be able to catch it immediately, literally, with my pencil, with the book, and then home. But of course, now I've got the sticks and I've got the pens, it might be that I could just literally, put a couple in my pocket and off I go, no problem. So it'll be very interesting to see how my work changes as a result. I mean, if you were going to ask me to describe my style, I'd say that I come out of an interest in realism, a love of early Renaissance painting, particularly Dürer, and I spent many years painting in a very precise way, trying to capture nature, looking at the particular rather than the general. And Dürer, I suppose, would be my hero, if I had to name anyone. I use watercolour because I love the aqueous quality of it. I love the luminosity of it, and I love the pure colour and the fact that one can work in a very precise way, but also allow the watercolour to become very fluid and messy and make very beautiful patterns. For me, it's the most beautiful medium of all.